Moiraine faces the consequences of her actions. Hello, everyone. I'm Steve from Valhartv, and today I'll be reviewing The Wheel of Time Episode 6. So, there's a lot that happens in this episode. We start this episode out with the backstory of Suan. She's a young girl in this part who must leave home for the White Tower because she's a channeler. So, we see that there's some consequences to before she became I believe it's called the Amelin seat. I may be mispronouncing that. I apologize. So there were some big prejudices against channelers. And we see that in present day as well. There still are. The Children of Light, for instance. Excuse me. So we really get this really good opening sequence here. And the opening view of the river and her home was actually really beautiful. Like, it was really well shot and done. And the dialogue between her and her father when she goes to leave was very heartfelt. Like, you could literally believe that they were real father-daughter, and he was saying goodbye to her because she needed to go train at the White Tower. So I really thought that was really good. There's some really standout moments in this episode as well that are really show how good everybody's actually starting to get. Even though it is the sixth episode, they should have been able to get a little bit better by now, but it's still actually shaping up for good acting in this. So when we cut back to present day, Moiraine, Landrin, and like others are all in the audience hall awaiting Suan to come. And really, I mean, this is a whole breathtaking moment, too, because they actually do, like, an aerial view of the chamber, looking down at it, and it's massive. Like, it looks tiny, but, like, they go up floors. It was really good looking. I really liked that as well. But this is where we really see that the politics start to come into play, the intrigue. We see that Landrin has it out for Moiraine as they really don't like each other, and she turns the attention of everyone onto Moiraine. Like, she's about to get punished, so she like, oh, well, what about Moiraine? And, you know, she goes off about that, and is like, oh, you know, trying to get the blame, you know, and the punishment off of her. And this is real. I mean, I thought it was really kind of petty. I really was like, oh, just, you know, oh, she was terrible. I loved it. She was so terrible. I did not like her at all. I actually think she's probably one of my least liked favorite characters in this. But that's perfect, because that's exactly what she's supposed to be playing the part as. So I really liked that. I thought it was great. And when we keep going, we of course see Moiraine refuse to answer Suan, and it makes Suan have to react and have to think of a punishment for her. You know, because she challenged the ruling authority, which I thought was actually really kind of good. And we can really see that the tower politics in this episode are really abundant in this. You know, we can see that, you know, Landrin and Moiraine go back and forth with each other. You know, because Landrin is trying to find out what Moiraine is doing, but Moiraine won't say. So she's very, you know, Landrin's very frustrated. And we also see that Moiraine is hiding the fact that everybody's in the city together. So she's kind of like not telling the kids about each other. She's got them stashed in different places. So I thought that was very interesting for her to do that when she's trying to get them all together to get ready for the, you know, like the end events and things. So I thought that was very interesting, but she's also shows that she's willing to help them, you know, especially when she goes and looks at Matt and figures out that he took a dagger. So she ends up helping him, you know, with that, with his, with the darkness inside of him and stuff. And I thought that was, you know, really actually kind of cool of her to do, because she is concerned about these kids, but she also knows that one of them is the reborn dragon. So she's trying to figure out which one it is, but she still can't. You know, they're not really manifesting any kind of powers except for the two girls and Perrin, who she finds out, is able to kind of control wolves, I guess. They haven't really established fully what that exactly is. And there's a good reveal in this as well. I actually liked it. And we find out, again, that Moiraine, this episode kind of more about Moiraine than anybody else. Because we find out she has a really big secret that can get her, I believe what they call it is gentled. Where she gets stripped of all her powers and she isn't able to touch the one source anymore. So I was like kind of surprised about that. But she also has a backer that is kind of powerful too, and that nobody really else knows about, and they have to keep a secret. So I really thought that was kind of intriguing to this and was really kind of cool. So, and this episode really is all about the intrigue and politics of the White Tower as everybody's trying to figure out what's going on with Moiraine. And we can see, like her and Landrin don't actually like each other, because there's an exchange at one point where Landrin is just so furious, but she's at the same time is like, how did Moiraine find out about my secret, And it's like, and that's like a big reveal too, because you're like, oh, snap. I was like, ho, 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 you're a hypocrite. And I was like, I love it. I was like, it's so good. It was really good. And there's a surprise twist at the end as well that you do kind of see coming, but still it was kind of cool at the same time, because you're like, oh, really? You're like, you're going to be that kind of person, huh? Yeah, it was good. I actually liked it. So again, the sets in this were great. There wasn't really like a lot of actual like magic again and stuff like that they used. There was a little bit here and there, but it wasn't like super prominent. And what was there was good, but the sets were really the best part about this episode. For like effects, because the rest of it was just was just regular acting and practical effects. Sorry, that's what I was trying to think of. Especially with the aerial view of the main audience chamber, we get the river at the beginning, which I thought was really, really beautiful looking. The acting in this episode I actually thought was better. I actually thought everybody stepped up and played a better role, played a better part, which I really kind of liked. I actually even felt like the emotions from people, like Moiraine and Landrin, they felt like they really kind of didn't like each other, like they were going back and forth with it. And Swan, when she was a kid with her father, that was really emotional. I really thought they were, you could believe that they were, real father and daughter. So I really liked that. So this episode, I think everybody really kind of stepped it up, and I thought that was really good. And, this episode introduces the intrigue and politics of the tower, as well as show us that Moiraine is willing to see things through to the end, no matter the cost. And there is a big cost at the end, too, which I didn't actually see coming until later on in the episode. And you don't, because they're trying to figure out her punishment, and then she suggests it. And I was like, whoa, that's crazy. And it fits, though, because she needs to finish this. She needs to take these kids to figure out who the Dragon Reborn is. So, yeah, and, there's a bigger picture that the other Sedai don't care about and don't see. They're really more interested in their own, political gains and stuff in this, versus getting ready for the final battle and everything that comes, to that. So I really thought that was cool, and I'm very interested to see what the last two episodes have in store for everybody too. I honestly can't wait to see the next episode. I would give this episode an 8 out of 10 easily, because the acting was a lot better. The dialogue was really good in this episode as well. So yeah, I would give this an 8 out of 10 straight up. If you guys like what I do, please hit the like button and subscribe, and leave a comment down below. Let me know what you thought about this episode. Take care for now, everyone.